right? Like, you agree that that's way too much. $500, a load of crap. We got to discuss this because everyone agrees, but today's announcements and news are going to make your wallets hurt. They're going to feel the tear and the pull and the rip of $100 bills, Benjamins, falling out and spending on what comes next. So good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. No tea in the hand today. It's too hot. Got my new friend Fanny over here keeping things silently cool. Thank you, Dyson. You are awesome. Now, what also is awesome is some of the new Nintendo news that we got today, and then some less awesome news. We'll talk about it all, so hope you're here for the long haul. Hit that like button if you enjoy, and let's buckle up. All right, let's start with a few quick bites. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, it's the month. It's November, the game's out in 2 weeks, and a new Japanese overview trailer came out proving that these people did another graphics pass. The game has looked rough. The performance was really called out in the recent previews, and we're just fingers crossed that it somehow makes it better. Well, we've got good news because today's trailer compared to the August trailer of a similar scene does look better. Looks like there's more detail in the environments, and they've upped the saturation, added more color, and tried to liven up this world that really isn't going to have enough liveness to feel like some of the modern best open worlds, but it's getting better, and I think that's a good thing. What else is getting better is Mario plus Rabbids, because they gave us new details on the 3 expansion packs part of the season pack. The first one is a battle tower that's coming early 2023. You need the season pass for that, a $30 add-on. But the next 2 packs, mid-2023 and late 2023, you can buy those separately. And thank goodness, because the middle one has a new Rabbid baddie, new planet, looks pretty cute and cool. And the third one is Rayman. Although now they're saying Rayman Adventure is a Rabbid Mario, Rabbid Peach, Rayman adventure, so it seems like it's going to be a standalone thing with that mandatory team. Now, on one hand, boo hiss. I would like Mario and Bowser to play with Rayman, but I do wonder if the reduction of the roster allows for some fun guests. Maybe Rayman can pick up a friend or two in that third DLC pack late 2023. It's a year away. They got a lot of time to really pack the content in. DK's expansion for Mario plus Rabbids 1 was superb. I think they're going to do great things here. And I wonder if the reduced roster is A, because they've got a bunch of cool other characters they're going to show, or B, because Miyamoto said Rayman and Mario don't do it. They don't, no. Do not cross the streams. Rabbid Mario, sure, that's a bunny, the Mario hat hanging out with Rayman, but Mario and Rayman, they would never. I think they would. Let me know in the comments if you agree with Miyamoto or agree with me, because personally I think Rayman and Mario could get along. They save the world, they're kind of lighthearted, they can jump really good. They both have white gloves. It's a match made in heaven. What isn't a match made in heaven, though, is our wallets in 2023. Oh, baby. We already know there's a bunch of games. Like so many games. Go look at the release calendar for February, March, April. It's insane. We're talking Zelda. We're talking Starfield. We're talking all sorts of awesome stuff. Hogwarts. I mean, there's games galore every week, every which way you look at it. It is going to be packed. Fire Emblem is like already coming out in 2 months. Isn't that crazy? Well, guess what? Your wallet is going to need even more money. And a $500 Nintendo Switch is no longer out of the question. You thought $300 was a fun price point, but believe you me, when Nintendo goes to upgrade this hardware, they're going to look at pushing this thing higher. And why are they going to do that? Well, because everybody else is pushing everything higher. Today, Sony announced that PSVR 2 will be coming out February 22nd, and it's $550. I think my finger just went in my nose. I was that shocked. Accident, promise you. Not picking my nose on camera. That would be gross. More than the PS5. $550 is more than the PS5. $550 is more than the PlayStation 5 console. The VR expansion that has about, I don't know, there's something like 20 games. Most of them honestly look really mediocre. Like, they showed a bunch of trailers. There's like a dark pictures anthology light gun shooter. There's some like cutesy games like we got at the beginning of VR. It really doesn't feel like VR has improved, grown, advanced all that much. I personally have very little interest in PSVR 2. One, because I don't really like VR all that much in general. 2, these games look honestly pretty shoddy. And 3, it's doing all the same things that it's done for years and years and years. And I have the Oculus, and I have the Vive, and I have the PSVR 1, and now it's $550. $550 for an add-on, and you look at Nintendo's $300 Switch and say, wow, what a steal. I want to present to you some really interesting graphics. All right, stats on the screen. The Switch charged $300 back in March of 2017. Based on our current inflation, if you go to buy that $300 Switch in 2023, accounting for inflation, it would cost $360. The Switch already is $60 cheaper today than it was back in March 2017, right? Consider that. It is $60 cheaper. Nintendo is effectively getting $60 less than they would have when it first launched. You know the price bump is coming. And we see they did that with the OLED. The OLED went up to $350. Some of the bundles they tried to charge $360, and now you're like, why'd they charge $360? Boom, baby. That is why, because $317 equals $360 in 2023 dollars. Now, I was looking back at the Wii U, and the Wii U, the 32 gig model in 2012, came out at $350. More than the Switch launched at, if you can believe that. In today's dollars, that's about $452. So, as of right now, today, the Wii U launched at $452. You got to think of it that way. You got to think of the Wii U as costing $452 for the purpose of our discussion. Is the Switch Pro, the Switch 2, more enticing than the Wii U? Heck yes, it is. Nintendo's rate of success is ridiculous right now. Their games library is insane, and the demand is there. They could conceivably charge $450 to $500 for the Switch. It sounds like a bunch of crap, but hey, guess what? Companies have raised the price of their systems just from the regular thing without adding any value. And now you're telling me Nintendo is going to go and make the graphics so much better. Not PS5 level, not Xbox Series X level, probably not even Series S level, but it'll be notably better for Nintendo. If and when they do drop this brand new box, they are going to make it seem like it is the beefiest Nintendo machine ever made. And that is factually true. And getting to play Mario and Zelda on the beefiest Nintendo machine ever made is going to cost you a pretty penny. Sony raised the price by $50 over in the European countries. They didn't touch the US market yet, but they very well may. Xbox said, we're not raising prices. And then just a couple days ago, Phil Spencer was like, we're going to raise prices. Next year, they're going to raise prices. They're going to take that Xbox Series X probably up to $550. So now your systems that are 3 years old are raising the price. And now the specter of a $500 Nintendo Switch doesn't seem too crazy. Now, I think Nintendo is a bit more friendly than that. So before you freak out completely, $500 Switch is not a total load of crap, but I think there's nuance there. I think Nintendo knows that coming in underneath the other competition is one of their keys to success. I just don't think they're going to come in anywhere near as low as they have been right now. They are $300 compared to $500, a whopping mega humongous 40% less. That is a ton less. When you consider the cost of $300, still expensive, and consider the cost of $500, super expensive, 40% is massive. I don't think they're going to settle for being 40% less when they're the best seller, have the best games, and now are bringing out the ultimate version that everyone has wanted literally since this system came out. Actually, I think I played Zelda for like a week and I was like, this system's great. And then I was like, oh, maybe it needs better graphics for some of the other third-party stuff I tried out. I mean, for Nintendo stuff, the system is great, but I would love a machine that doesn't make us look at the Pokemon screenshots and say, oh, there's a few more blades of grass. 3 cheers for 3 more blades. Is the windmill going at 7 frames per second now? 7? Like, that's where we're at. We know we need a Switch Pro. Like, it's so overdue. We have these ports that can barely push, and some people are able to be magical with the system. That's great. I'm proud of them. I love it. Like Nier Automata, Witcher 3. Yeah, we've got games like Alan Wake that run like trash, and we do have so many things showing signs of age and wear and tear. And so there will be a new Switch eventually, and that price point is probably going to push. I think Nintendo will come in at around $400, maybe $450 if they decide to do so. I don't think they'll reach $500 because I feel like that is just a stinky sound. $500. I think you can only get away with that with this mega box that promises, you know, a wizard and a bag of tricks inside the console, and that's kind of what PS5 has tried to deliver. The Switch, though, $400 is totally reasonable. I don't think in any way they will come in at the $300 price point. That is signed, sealed, delivered, and gone. That $300 price point is so much cheaper than it was back in 2017, right? If you take the math, $300 today, if they charge that right now, that would be the equivalent of a $240 Switch back in 2017, which is too cheap. The system is too successful. This company understands how to make money. And even at $400, they will be $150 less than their competition. That's why I think 450 is a possibility. If PS5 makes a worldwide bump to 550 and Xbox comes in and follows suit with the push of Starfield, Redfall, all their games next year, they're teasing Fable, teasing Perfect Dark, Game Pass is flourishing, then Nintendo has room to come in at 450. I'm not saying I want it, I'm not saying I like it, I'm not saying it should be, I'm just saying that is a possibility you have to consider because that still puts them $100 below the competition. And if you consider a Switch plus Tears of the Kingdom, a Switch Pro plus Tears of the Kingdom, $450 plus $60, $510, you're still cheaper than the PSVR 2, which is an add-on to your already $550 PS5, making that an $1,100 purchase. Now, PC players have been buying $3,000 PCs for years now, so that still seems like good value, but $1,100 for the PS5 and the PSVR 2 is insane to me. The home console space is getting super expensive, and I know that inflation changes the numbers, and I know that games technically are cheaper than ever. I believe it. Even at $70, they're still faring very well in comparison to inflation over the last decade. But the idea of spending $1,100 of my money to get a PS5 and a VR2 to play a game like Pistol Whip, which is a fun game, but it's been out before, or Cities VR, like I'm doing a VR thing that I feel like I've done since the beginning of VR, I don't like it. A $450 Switch Pro, that also seems pricey. And if I had to put money on it right now, I'd say they launched that bad boy at $400. The OLED's $350, the Switch is $300, the Switch Pro is $400. That sort of feels like the pricing structure they would prefer. But we can't say it's crazy to think of $500. When other companies are upping the price, when VR is coming out at this cost, when inflation is going the way it's going, and when dollars over dollars are downright different than they were at the beginning onset of this Switch generation, you gotta think the next one is going to be expensive. So in conclusion, I think $500 is still crap. It's just not a load of crap. It's like they wouldn't do that, right? Not a sure no, but like a 97% no. And I think the $400 to $450 price range, even like a $429, I think any of that is fair game, and I think that's what you need to expect to pay if you want the Switch Pro. And in my opinion, if you're going to want to play Tears of the Kingdom the best way possible, they're going to roll out that Switch Pro, roll out Zelda, and say, cough it up. Heck, they could even charge $430 for the Switch Pro, $70 for Tears of the Kingdom. Other games are doing it. You think Tears of the Kingdom is any worse than the $70 games on other platforms? Heck no. You think the demand is lower? Heck no. $500 for your new Switch Pro and your Zelda game. Get ready for it. It's totally plausible, and a higher price is all but assured. Let me know how you feel about that. Does it ruffle your feathers? Do you expect it? Do you think companies, do you feel like it's fair for them to raise with inflation, raise with shipping costs and complications and parts and chipsets and all those things going up? Do you think it's right to pass that along to the consumer, or no? How much would you pay for a Switch Pro, and are you ready to dole out $500 if that's what you got to do to play Zelda the best way possible? Or will you just sit pretty with your Switch? Because I'm also pretty dang sure the libraries will cross over. The Switch Pro and the Switch you're going to play the same games. Nintendo would be insane to not do that. So you'll be cool, but you won't be cool. You know what I mean? Anyways, have a great rest of your day, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive out there. I love you all so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being with me. November, holiday season, Halloween's over, Christmas, and the rest of the holidays are awesome and are coming. And we'll have to decorate soon. Maybe it's a little early for that, but I know Target, TJ Maxx, all those places are already bombarded with the holiday cheer, so maybe we'll get something going soon. In the meantime, love you guys a lot. The SwitchForce out.